Well, I hope y'all had a good Christmas. Been kind of mellow the last several days. As you can see, I haven't shaved. So my girlfriend likes a beard, and she asked me to let it grow for Christmas, so I did. It's nice and warm down here in the Keys still. Um, Not calling for any coolness, other than the fact that it might get down in the 60s in the evening time. Been reading through the news stories that I check out and stuff, and there's a big controversial topic about health insurance. And ever since 2014, health insurance has been kind of a wild ride for a lot of people. I remember before 2014 when the Affordable Care Act, aka Obamacare, got shoved down our throats. And when they passed it, employers had a year waiver, but self-employed people, it didn't. They didn't. We didn't get that waiver. And at the time, I was, self-employed, being a landlord and all. And I remember back before the change, I believe it was an Anthem plan, and I was paying $29.01 per month for it, and it covered 90% of everything. And then when I got forced over to the insurance part, it ain't worth a crap, because right now with the insurance provider I have, they will not cover me outside of the state of Ohio unless it's an emergency situation where I have to go to the emergency room, like a stroke, heart attack, or whatever they deem an emergency. And I pay $172 a month for the stuff. They do pay for my prescriptions, but outside of that, I have to cover the first $7,800 in expenses before they'll even kick in to start paying their part. And I don't even know what it is. I've never hit that much. And I keep getting all these emails and text messages from various insurance companies about how my plan's going to go even higher, and I'm not going to pay it. I'll just do an HSA, which is a health savings account. I don't know a lot about them. They've been around for a while, where you just set money aside and put it into like an account. I don't know, if like a bank account or something. Excuse me, I got my coffee. But they you just use that money to pay for your medical expenses, and whatever you don't use, it just keeps building up and building up. But then, of course, if something happens where it goes beyond, like you have to go to the hospital, and whatever your bill is goes beyond what you got set aside, you're responsible for it. But generally, if something like that happens, you're either in a car wreck or you're somewhere where some other insurance company is going to pick up the difference. So I will be exploring options for that, because I like I said, $172 a month. And hell, one guy I watch here on YouTube also, he was paying, I think he was paying like $1,100 a month for him and his wife, and they kicked it up to where it's going to be like $1,500 a month. He said he wasn't going to pay it either. He's going to explore other options. We'll walk out here. I'm almost to the beach. It's got a few people here. Last several days, a few extra people piled in here, but it was ironic because today, the day after Christmas, they're leaving. The seaweed's not too bad today. Not like it was last time I showed you guys. But it's still grungy and everything else. I'll let you guys see it. And if you get down here, generally in the morning time, you'll see the birds walking through this and picking out bugs and stuff. But outside of that, the water's nice and calm compared to what it's been the last 2 weeks. It's been pretty choppy water. They've had all these advisories for the small craft, but no. With the insurance, I don't know how y'all, like, of course you work for somebody, they usually got a plan the employer has, and you guys pay whatever it is. I've heard different amounts from people, but a lot of them say the insurance is good, and some say it ain't worth a crap. But I guess it's all on what your needs are. I mean, if you're sick all the time, then yeah, you're gonna need something good, but outside of that, there's just no point in doing it. And we'll try to keep the sun behind my head so it doesn't blind the camera too much. They had a chart that was showing the sales from Black Friday, and showed that 95% of all sales was purchased via credit card, and I'm going to say probably 70% of those with purchased with a credit card are people that leave it on the card. They can't afford to pay it off, and they make payments on it, and the debt keeps climbing and climbing through the nationwide. I think we're up to like $1.3 trillion of credit card debt, and ever since the rates went up, I know the credit card rates went up too, and some of them are like 29-30% interest. But the thing with a credit card, I use a credit card for everything, me personally. I pay it off once a month. I use the credit card because I get reward points, and it's like, I don't know, 2% back for everything I spend. And to me, basically, they're paying me to use their credit card because I pay it off every month. But a lot of people don't, and they think they're getting, the rewards or perks for them, but it's not, because they're spending more in their interest than what they're getting back in their rewards. Doesn't make any sense. Just because people got a spending problem, they live for today and screw tomorrow. And then another subject I seen come up was the student loans, where they're going to start. Some coffee. They're going to start garnishing these people paychecks for not paying their student loans. Now, my topic on student loans is, excuse me, the same with anything else. Ooh, wow, this looks bad over here. I'll show you this, guys. You took out a loan, pay it back. Nobody forced you to do any of that. Man, this is bad over here. Look at all this seaweed. Wow, all this is seaweed. And it looks mushy. I'm almost afraid to, if you walk out here, it's like mush. It's almost like quicksand. Yucky. That's all seaweed built up. We walked the park yesterday morning on Christmas, and we went down to the far side where the docks are, and we seen the manatees. There was 3 manatees. They just look like potatoes floating in the water, and they come up and get air, and then they just kind of hang out. And the charter guys, they said that when they wash their boats off, the manatees like fresh water because they are a mammal. They're not a fish. And they'll spray the water on the manatees if they like to get something to drink. And I thought it was kind of wild. And one was close enough where I was going to, touch it. But here in Florida, if you touch a manatee, it's like a big criminal offense. And they can give you a fine and put you in jail for like up to 30 days or something like that, because they're part of the endangered species and stuff like that. But that was kind of wild, just watching them just float around in there. And one of the guys we actually talked to, he just got back from a charter. He said that when he got his boat out the other day, they were hanging around his propeller, so he just turned the engine on, but didn't. He left the motors up, that way the propellers were out of the water, and he just had to use his board and push his boat out. That way, kind of got them out of the road because they didn't want to move. They're very friendly. They're very docile because they're vegetarians. But that was kind of wild talking to him about that. I'm walking through the park a little bit. Man, these places empty. There's a lot of empty spots here still. Now, like I said, there was a lot of people that came in right before Christmas. I think it was today's Thursday. They come in Monday, but yesterday I think we counted up, and there was probably, I think we counted 21 of them that left yesterday. Or was it yesterday they left or the day before? I can't remember, but anyway. And my girlfriend, she's like, I don't understand why people come down here for just a couple days and then turn around and leave. But I guess that's all they had the money for. And most people here is pretty friendly. I've been talking to ones that are interested in talking, and ask them about their camping and whatnot. And there's quite a few people down here that are like the couple, well, the guy that hit my truck with his back of his camper there, 2 weeks ago, and where they made a lot of money on their house, and they sold everything out and just live in their camper full time. But probably 50% of those I've talked to, they were not working when they first did it, and now they're trying to find freelance jobs or work remotely because the money they made is either running out or it's not pulling in the income they need to sustain what they're doing, going to campground and staying. So that just shows you how bad stuff's getting. And I've seen a chart where it showed spending nationwide versus inflation, and where the actual spending is flat, but if you add the inflation in, it makes it look like that a lot more stuff is being sold. And that's what I was talking about in one of my other videos, about how they hide numbers and lie about stuff. Because just like the unemployment, it keeps getting worse and worse. And back to my camper now. They keep taking numbers off of the previous job reports, going into negative, which that in itself just shows you how bad stuff's getting. And like I said, when you get the people that's camping in here and they're looking for work because they're needing money, it's getting bad. And which, just like it after 2008 hit, gas prices were really high before 2008 happened. And I think it was a governor or senator, I think it was Rick Santorum was his name, and he claimed, he put a controversial statement that said that high gas prices is what helped lead to 2008, because it just kept bleeding people out of money. And I remember back then, gas prices was about $4.25, which we pay that. We were paying that within the last few years, but that was 15 years ago, and wages were nowhere near what they are now. So think how much harder that was on people paying extra gas, which in return raised the price of food, other commodities. Just everything, building materials. I remember that's when they first started coming out with fuel surcharges. They never had that before, not till 2008. And of course, if you notice now, it never has left. They still charge for surcharge on fuel. But after 2008 hit and all the job losses kept piling up, they weren't, nothing was selling, vehicles weren't selling, people weren't going anywhere. You seen the price of gas, it got clear down to, I think it was like $1.45, $1.47. It got really low just because nobody's buying it. It's all supply and demand. When people is not buying something, they gotta lower the price to try to make some money on it. Just like you're gonna see with a lot of these VRBO, Airbnb, I guess Nashville, they're in some deep crap up there where these developers that built these condo high-rises, and they had places listed for $600,000, and they're down into $375,000. I mean, they're almost cut in half. And you've got your developers building, like the whole subdivision, and they're cutting prices too. And there's talks now of homeowners that bought within the last few years is going to look into filing class action lawsuits against the builders for overcharging for the house they had. I don't know if that's going to have any footage, in a court or anything. No, just like with them blaming the realtors. One comment on one of the YouTube videos I was watching in particular, wanted to know if they could put a class action suit against the realtors because they overpaid. Well, no, you're the idiot that overpaid. I mean, you should have been listening to people like me and thousands of others that was warning people about how bad stuff was getting, and you chose to listen to your realtors or watch whatever you're wanting to watch on TV and tell you everything's good, because it's not. But I'm glad y'all had a good Christmas. Hope you did. New Year's will be here in a few days. We're going to be leaving this campground. Today's Friday. We leave here Sunday. And then we're going to head to another campground on down closer to Key West. Be down there for about a week. And then we'll head inland. Where it's a little bit chillier. So probably should have booked this later when it was more colder than up there. That would be warmer down here, but it doesn't really matter. I mean, it's been nice being out here in the Keys for a month. There's only been like a handful of nights where you could really leave the windows open before you go to bed, where the humidity is not too bad, but generally the humidity is so bad you still got to run the air conditioner. Even if it gets down to 68, it's just so humid it feels like it's 70. So I hope you all have a good New Year's, and I'll try to get another video out here soon. Like I said, we're going to be leaving here in about 2 days and switch around and do something different. So hope you like my video, like my content. Please like it, like my video, subscribe to my page, share my video. I'd appreciate it. And have a good one, guys.